Loops in computer science are a great tool to eliminate repetitive code. That means there is less coding for you to do and the code will be more compact. Frankly, a lot of tasks are basically impossible to do without them. To the right we have a script that has the same line written over and over again since it executes the same or similar code. This could easily be eliminated by packing them into a suitable loop, making the script a lot shorter. Let's look at loops to understand them a bit more. First we will be looking at the for loop. This loop executes a statement or command a fixed number of times. This is what it looks like. The for keyword declares the for loop. The double I is the index, which can have any name that you want. I've named it double I in our case, seeing it's simply a dummy index. We will set our index equal to an array. The array's contents set the value of the index at each repetition, and its size determines the number of repetitions. So if the array is a row vector from 1 to 10, the loop runs 10 times with the index changing its value in each repetition from 1 to 2 to 3 and so on. Below the loop we have the body, which contains the code that you want, even another loop. Finally we have the end command, which will terminate the loop. Next up we will look at the while loop. This executes a statement as long as its expression evaluates to true. The while keyword declares the while loop. After it comes an expression which gets evaluated, and if evaluated to true, the loop runs one iteration. If still true after that iteration, the loop will run again, and so on until the expression is evaluated to false. The body of the loop can again contain any code that you like, even some other while or for loop. Lastly, we have the end statement again, which indicates that the loop is over. Now on to Matlab to get a better understanding. As usual, let's first create a script. Here we will call it loops. We'll look at both for and while loops. I want to display the numbers from 1 to 1,000 with an asterisk as a spacer in between. So I could type display 1, display asterisk, display 2, and so on, but it would take a long time. So let's use the power of loops. Declare a for loop using the for keyword followed by an index. In this case, use the double I again. How often do we want the loop to run? 1,000 times. And what values should double I take? Preferably from 1 to 1,000. So let's let double I equal to a 2 vector from 1 to 1,000. In the body we will want to first display each value of double I and then the spacer. So we use the display command twice to do so. Now simply put the end command at the bottom and you're done. Let's run it in the command line, and as you can see, all the numbers with the spacers will be displayed. We can also achieve that using a while loop. Let's first just understand how a while loop works. Here I declare the loop using the while keyword. Now I put down a condition which gets evaluated. The simplest condition here would simply be true. Now in the loop I just display a random number and put an end statement at the bottom. So let's run this. As you can see, the loop keeps running and running as the condition we have given is always evaluated to be true. To stop this infinite loop, use Ctrl+C. Now that was a warning to show you that when constructing your loop you always have to make sure that it terminates at some point. Let's try this again. Before the loop I have my dummy index set to 1. Now let's think about the condition that needs to be evaluated. We want the loop to run for 1,000 iterations, so let's run it as long as double I, our index, is smaller to or equal than 1,000. In the body of the loop we will first display double I as well as a spacer and then increment double I by +1. This way, each time a new iteration starts, double I will have increased by 1, so a new value is displayed, and also at some point it will be larger than 1,000, so the loop will stop. As we can see, that worked perfectly. With the power of loops, we can further modify our cookbook function. Last time we modified the displayed output to make it look a bit nicer. This is where we will continue today. I want to not just show the amount and type in a kind of messy way, I want them done as proper sentences. For that, we can use the fprintf command introduced in the last video. We can also use a for loop which runs for as many iterations as there are ingredients in the specified medium. So for LB medium, I would want the loop to run 3 times to display all 3 ingredients with their appropriate amounts on a separate line. For LB agar, however, it will need to run 4 times. So I set the dummy index i equal to a row vector ranging from 1 to the length of the specified medium ingredient list. In the case of LB, that is 3 long, so now my index runs from 1 to 3. In the body of the loop, I use the fprintf command to display a string saying the following. The percentage signs are again placeholders for the variables that get filled in and are listed at the end. The conversion type for the amount will be listed as fixed point notation with 4 decimal points. As you can see, the code has performed as expected. Thank you for watching.